What does a Capgemini case interview look like, and how can you pass it? You'll find out in this video. Before we start with the case interview, let's talk about Capgemini first. Of course, you need to know the company you're interviewing with for you to pass your interview. This is especially true for the behavioral interview. Capgemini has been operating for over 5 decades, starting in 1967 in France, founded by 𝗢𝗫𝗵𝗲𝗶 to provide IT consulting. Since then, it's expanded through 40+ acquisitions and now offers a wide range of services in over 50 countries with 340,000 team members and over 20 billion euros in revenue. Capgemini helps businesses with digital transformation, cloud services, cybersecurity, and more, focusing on industries like manufacturing and energy. Plus, it has specialized branches. Capgemini Invent for strategy and design, Capgemini Engineering for tech integration, and 𝗤𝗫𝗍𝗍 for speeding up collaboration through tech solutions. Capgemini may not be part of the top consulting firms like MBB or the Big Four, but the roster of clients is almost the same, including financial services companies like HSBC and Morgan Stanley, automotive companies like BMW, and consumer product companies like Procter & Gamble. Next, what does the Capgemini culture look like? Capgemini consultants often come from technical backgrounds, but they get the chance to work on real business challenges, making it a great place to kickstart a career given the firm's size and history. The company is big on diversity and inclusion, with initiatives to close the gender gap, combat racism, integrate people with disabilities, and create an LGBT-friendly environment. Plus, they focus on developing inclusive leaders through unconscious bias training. Some Glassdoor reviews about the company say, diverse and inclusive, paid training in client management, plenty of opportunities to grow, good work environment, love the company's work culture, flexible, decent pay, great people, great benefits, lots of learning opportunities, supporting managers. Now, what does their recruitment process look like? Capgemini's interview process, like many consulting firms, can vary, but here's what you can generally expect based on what our alumni at My Consultant Offer reported. Screening. After submitting your application, you might take an online assessment. First round interviews. A recruiter will call you to discuss your background and see if you're a cultural fit. You'll likely hear questions like, why Capgemini? Second round interviews. 2 or more interviews with senior consultants or managers, including a case interview and more on cultural fit. For one-on-one interviews, expect 30 to 45-minute video calls or in-person meetings. Be ready to explain your background, your interest in Capgemini, and work through both technical and business case interviews. Okay, how about the case interview? What should you expect? In a case interview, you usually dive into a real client scenario where you'll tackle some technical or business questions. An experienced consultant will guide you through the process, walking you through the situation and the questions you need to solve. You can look forward to using a technical or business framework. And depending on the role you're applying for, you might even need to code. Think Java or similar languages. To ace the case interview, I recommend a 4-step approach. First, the opening. Understand the question. The key to nailing the case interview is really understanding what the client is facing. The problem usually comes to you as a question, like, how do we turn around declining sales? To make sure you're on the right track, take notes and restate the problem in your own words to the interviewer. Don't hesitate to ask follow-up questions that clarify anything you're unsure about. Second, structure. Plan your approach to solving the problem. Once you have a grasp on the question, ask for a moment to think about how you want to tackle the problem. Taking time now to consider the elements will really pay off as you dive into the case. You can lean on common frameworks like the 4 Ps or the growth share matrix, but the main thing is to be thorough in your thinking. For example, if you're dealing with declining sales, you might break it down into these 4 components. Price. Can we raise our prices? Volume. Is there a way to produce or distribute more? Products. Can we create new products that are in high demand? Geographies. Are there new high growth markets we can expand to? Third step, analysis. Dive into the details and form a hypothesis. Great interviewees are always proactive about finding solutions. Once you share your framework with the interviewer, take the initiative to highlight what areas should be prioritized to get closer to the answer. The interviewer might also guide you on what to focus on first. Then take a deep dive into each of your buckets to better grasp the client's problem and explore potential solutions. Lastly, we have the conclusion. Articulate a recommendation. After gathering all the facts and analyzing the issue, take a moment to think about your recommendation. The best recommendations are clear and actionable. Make sure it's easy to understand in what you're suggesting. Supported by facts with an acknowledgement of risks. Back up your recommendation with solid evidence while recognizing recognizing any potential downsides. Delivered with conviction. Present your ideas confidently to make a strong impression. We have a lot of videos on how to pass the case interview, so be sure to check those out. Links in the description. Let me share with you some Capgemini case interview examples that you might encounter. Telecommunications company. The CEO of a telecom operator has hired you to identify the causes of and solutions for rising customer acquisition costs, 20% CAGR. What is the best approach to solving the problem? Global chemical manufacturer. The CEO of the company is worried about a decline in profits despite an increase in the market share of its main product, preservatives. How would you go about supporting the company? U.S. Bank. The bank has recently acquired one of its competitors. As it integrates the operations of the two organizations, it has found that the combined companies have above market technology costs. They want you to identify the causes and develop a solution. Automaker. The CIO of the automaker has hired you to conduct a benchmarking study on how well they are making technology investments to improve business processes. How would you go about solving the problem? They might seem intimidating at first, but trust me, the key to acing them is by simply putting in the prep work. I know it sounds cliche, but practice really does make perfect. There isn't a magic number of cases you need to solve to succeed in the interviews. What really matters is how comfortable you feel tackling them. Make sure to practice with someone who's at your level or more experienced. That way, you'll get the valuable feedback you need to level up your skills. Now, let's move on to the behavioral part of the interview. What should you expect? In the Capgemini interview process, you can expect to face some common behavioral questions. These are designed to give the interviewer insights into your motivations, experiences, and how well you collaborate with others. Some questions include, tell me about yourself. Why are you interested in Capgemini? Tell me about a work conflict you had and how you resolved it. Tell me about a time you worked on a team and how you led others. What is your proudest achievement? Tell me about a failure you had and how you recovered from it. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Tell me about a time that you dealt with a challenging coworker. Many candidates come ready for the case interview but often overlook the behavioral interview, and that's a big mistake. Just like I mentioned about acing your case interview, you need to put in the prep work for your behavioral interview too. As someone who has been on the other side of the interview table, here are my tips for you on how to ace your behavioral interview. You need to prepare structured answers for common questions using the A*E framework. Answer, situation, tension, action, results, effect, and rehearse them with someone experienced. I also suggest recording yourself with tools like Loom to improve your body language. Research your interviewer to anticipate their questions and ask about their Capgemini experience. Lastly, even though you have structured answers prepared, avoid memorizing them as it can come off as robotic. There you have it, everything you need to know to pass the Capgemini consulting interview. I'm curious, will you be going through a case interview soon? If you comment below the name of the firm that you will be interviewing with, I'll share resources on how you can pass your interview. So, for example, if you put Capgemini, I'll send you some resources for passing your interview with Capgemini. And if you are 100% serious about becoming a consultant at Capgemini or another amazing firm, I would love to help you. My team and I are former consulting recruiters and interviewers who help applicants get and pass the interviews so they can land their consulting offer. To date, 9 out of 10 applicants who work with us land at least one offer, and we've helped over 800 people already land a consulting job. If you are serious about becoming a management consultant and want to hear how we can help you, click on the link below to book a call with my team to find out more. Booking this call could put you one step closer to landing your offer at McKinsey, Bain, BCG, or other management consulting firms. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear it from 𝗙𝗲𝗍. 𝗙𝗲𝗍 became one of the best casers in his program. Discover how by clicking on the video somewhere around me. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.